Hello, today we're going to use sine, cosine, and tangent to find the sides of right triangles. Our first problem is this one here. First thing we have to do is label the sides that we know. If this is our 44, 25 is going to be our hypotenuse, and x is going to be our adjacent side. Once we know that, we have to look at SO, CA, TOA. Which of these three trig ratios uses adjacent and hypotenuse? Sine uses opposite and hypotenuse. That's not it. Cosine uses adjacent and hypotenuse. So that's it. So we'll take the cosine of our angle, 44, and set that equal to our adjacent, x, over our hypotenuse, which is 25. Now, we solve just like we did in the previous lesson. So I look at what the cosine of 44 is, and that's 0.7193. 0.7193 over my 1 is equal to x over 25. When I cross multiply, I get x is equal to 25 times my answer, which gets us to 17.98. So I know this side has to be 17.98 kilometers long. All right, let's keep moving. On this next one, the first thing we do is look at our angle and determine our sides. This is opposite of it, and this is our hypotenuse. Now if I write SO, CA, TOA, we're looking for what has an O and the H. Sine has an O and an H, so that's what we'll use. We'll say the sine of our angle, which is 12 degrees, is equal to our opposite side, now we know that's 7, over our hypotenuse, which is x. And now I set this up, now we cross multiply. 7 times 1 is 7, x times the sine of 12. Ooh, I forgot to find the sine of 12. Let's see. Sine of 12, not 122, is equal to 0.2079. 0.2079 is here. So when I multiply that by x, now I just have to divide 7 by that wonderful decimal. We'll get the value for x. That's a terrible 7. That looks a little bit less bad. So if I take 7 divided by 0.2079, I will get a grand total of 33.67. Now it's always good to look back in the diagram and see if that makes sense. Does that make sense that this big long side is 33.67? That seems pretty reasonable to me. Let's check out this other one. 40 from my angle 57 is going to be my adjacent side, and x is my hypotenuse. Now that we have that, adjacent and hypotenuse, we know sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and so we'll use cosine. So the cosine of 57 degrees is my adjacent, which is 40, over my hypotenuse, which is x. Now I will cross multiply to get 40. Oop, again I forgot to find that cosine of 57 before I started doing my math. 0.5446. And so that's 0.5446x. So divide 40 divided by 0.5446, and we will have our value of 73.45. 73.45 is now our hypotenuse. I said 5, but I wrote 3. Let's try that again. All right. Let's try our last problem of this type. Now from our angle of 50, we know this side is our opposite. That leaves this as our adjacent. Opposite of adjacent? Well, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. No. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. No. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. That's what we have. So we'll be moving along with tangent. Tangent of 50 degrees is equal to my opposite side, 70, over my adjacent, x. Put this over 1. Now when I cross multiply, that's going to be 70. Again, I forgot to find my tangent of 50 degrees, which is 1.1918. 1.1918 x. Now we divide 70 by 1.1918. To get a total of 58.73. So hopefully you're understanding this process. So now you can move forward and do some problems. Good luck.